Welcome back, welcome back. Sound the horns. Sound the horns. Anyway, I've been thinking about this little skit that I listened to a while back. Or maybe it was no, it was a woman content creator that I'd be listening to playing on here. Not Reva, someone new. And she brought up something that I never heard of before, but I did hear of it biblically. Sound horns. And it 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 made me think like men are like kinda we're fucking screwed. Like gotta be really careful. It's really important to control yourself when it comes to sex because it leads to a chain of events that's going to ruin your life, period, in multiple ways. And that's why they show us at an early age and beat us in the head to look at it so much, want it so much. But what she was talking about was being a parent and how hard it is for men to actually get the children once the woman decides to leave or you break up with her, either or. And she said, majority of the time, which is proven, just look at court records, that the women get the children, right? And she said because men don't know the law. And you know how my father says we die from a lack of knowledge, right? So I said, this is gonna be a good one. She says, because you just have, sex, you have a baby with her, you can't prove that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go to the hospital and be like, I'm the father. Anybody can do that. Get it? She could have cheated on you. You could just not be the father. And the system, people in general, it eventually affects other people. Now, how it affects other people, like say if it's not really the father and a woman just wants to make somebody the father, and unbeknownst to him, or he does know, you know what I'm saying? But she's with somebody else or something. Even if he goes in there and says, I'm really the father, you can't just say that. You could just write it on the paper, your name, but that doesn't really. It's only one form of the connection. It's only just the name written down. And she said, you not only got to sign a birth certificate, but you have to be married before you have the child. And I said, but that's what my father said. Like as time goes on and we do have priests and stuff and people to marry us, my father, when it was Adam and Eve, once you intercourse and you have the baby Everyone knew what time it was. That's why it was so important back in the day for women to be virgins. Because if you couldn't prove that's my baby and it looks like somebody else or anything that makes me think that's not my baby, you're out of the house and the kid's out of the house. This is why women scream, back in the day it was so abuseful. Yous were fucking tyrants. No, yous were whores, just like the Bible says. Nothing's new under the sun. And men were not trustworthy of men. They were smart. They knew how other men would sleep with your wife. Even if he was a good man. If your wife was hot enough and, she was coming on to him, either or. Once that attraction starts, it's hard to stop people. And this is why the Lord said, groom, get to know the person. Have restrictions, raise yourself up, become something before you get married. That's why the Lord said a man should be married at 40. Because then you have a lifetime of fucking experiences. A man without experiences is not a man. You're a motherfucker that has been told things. But if you never went through it, when it's time to go through it, now that you want to step out on the field, you don't have the endurance to take the hits, the mental blows. You're just going to fold up. Anyway, so when I heard this, I said, that's really good because that relates back to what the Bible says and, marrying women and doing the law. And my father says something about if you don't do the law, you're going to get punished one way or another, because it's not me telling you it's my rules, it's the laws of reality. If you don't do things a certain way, you're doing it this way, and it is going to have those results. So now that we live in a time where, all this freedom, all this running around and all this other stuff, a lot of men don't know the law. So we have children out of wedlock, and then we get mad when the courts do the law of God and say, you're not a real man, you didn't marry her, you're doing caveman, Neanderthal, baby kid shit, and you're having sex with women and not properly handling your phallus and understanding the power that it has. So you're not capable as a man and you shouldn't have those kids. That's what they're fucking saying. They're saying the same thing the Lord says. Get your shit together or you ain't real. But in the Lord's eyes, the women don't get the kids if you have kids. The man gets the kids because of, protection in the world and people that'll kick your doors in and school bullies and all these things children and, boys have to face. And if you're not equipped and you don't have an actual person that can defend you, well, we get what we get. Now, that made me feel like, teach men this and, get with a woman and marry her. But we live in a world where, Kev Samuels existed and proved how women use men for this shit anyway, just to get over. And not even do the 15, 20-year bid. They're trying to do like 5 years. They're getting married and then 5 years later divorced and then taking half of your shit. And it's like, damn, like, you damned if you do and you damned if you don't. Get it? It's like, it's crazy. It makes me think like, I don't know how to say it. It's just so fucked up. But there are good men and there are good women. You get it? But because of the mental shit that we see and go through and all these illusions and these things that are actual problems, it makes it where it's all about your choice. Like, a man has to know how to see a good woman. And, the way I see it is, since the world shows us this way of thinking and being and living, and it ain't working, I don't care if it's maybe it's worked for you. All you gotta do is the opposite of that. See, that's what made me love the Lord. Because when I seen my enemy tricked me into a lifestyle that makes me not a man and not actually grown, I said, all right, well, everything they show me and showed me from my childhood to think and be like, all I gotta do is the opposite. They want me to just only dress like this and talk like that, you know what I'm saying? And I said, I'm gonna learn more words, I'm gonna learn more things, I'm gonna dress differently. Even though I like this. You know what I mean? I like looking a little. All I need to do is just say, you know, hey, have like the Judah Lion right there or something. See, what I realized is the Most High don't care how you dress. That's why he says, come as you are. He said, just, you know, rep him. And when I seen it, I said, all right, well, the Lord said that his people had his name on their clothes and in their headbands. And I said, that's crazy, because that's what everybody does now, except you're wearing somebody else's name. You wear some regular guy's name on your head. World's funny. Anyway, like I realized men and good men are in such a dilemma in the world, because the only way to get your children legally and have a great chance, he said, to actually get your child is you have to marry her, you have to sign a birth certificate, and then boom, that proves you're the father. And then with the ultimate, because you know now we can do DNA tests, she said go get a DNA test in the hospital. As soon as your kid's born, get it right away. That way you can prove that you're the father. That way, in case later on she wants to break up with you, you have the proof of, listen, this is my DNA kid. This is my wife. And then all the other proofs as a man that, you know, if you're on your shit, how usually we are before they sabotage you and put you on child support. See, all those things together combined, and then you putting the finger and say, now look at her life. Who should raise the kid? And then they have to fucking judge who the kid would be better off with. If you were the one doing everything, if you're the one holding all the money down and all that, then the kid should be going with you. But majority of men are not marrying these women, so you don't have all the legal rights. But, like I said, this is where the death trap comes in. If these niggas did marry these women and went by the law, they would be finished. That would be their wife doing these things. This is why men don't marry you. Because if you was my wife and you cheated or did all that other crazy stuff, niggas go berserk and go to jail for the rest of their life, or hurt themselves and feel bad and all these things that y'all do. The only way a woman could defeat a man is through his mentality. You do physical shit that make us go in our minds into the shadows, and we turn our strength against us. I'm not beat for that shit. That's Satan's trick. I know where you learned it from. I'm beat for your daddy. And it's like, men are fucking screwed, because like I said, if these men would have married these chicks, they would be finished. Because especially some of the men that are well off, they got cheated out of their kids anyway. Well, he would have got cheated out of his business too and got half and all of these other crazy ass things. Or maybe by law, since he did all the right things, he would actually get his kid back. Which would lead to more protection for a majority of these black households or any households. And see, if that happened, then that would mean less and less women can say, I need free stuff because I have this kid. So then that would mean there'd be a whole lot of homeless women out here. Get it? Period. There's no getting around this. There is no getting around that. The majority of women and a lot of men don't get this shit. They see the big game. They know they ain't really gonna get smart, they're not gonna try, they're not gonna nothing. They watch generations and generations of women get over like this. So they're like, nah, I'm not beat for the bullshit. I'm going to get a baby's daddy. I'm gonna get another one, and then I'm gonna wait 5-10 years and I'm gonna get another one. Why? Because it just keeps replenishing the contracts of the fucking welfare and the project shits and the free apartments and the vouchers. Like when I learned, thank you a little bit, when I learned that you could be like that and you can get vouchers and shit if you're in the right programs and you can live in houses, I said, yo, black women are fucking disgusting, yo. I said, that's disgusting. You could be nothing. You can have a part-time job, barely go, bullshit your fucking life around, and you get to fucking call government daddy and live in a house, while me, the black man, gets robbed of his kids, live in a fucking room with a project somewhere, or live in an apartment getting raped for all his shit, and you get to live a little bit. This is what I mean by we're finished. We're like as a big group of people, we're finished, because the women, they see, they understand the mind. They gave them this shit because it makes you have endorphins of power, but they don't realize you're giving up your nation, you're destroying your children, and you're just all gonna be fucking slaves. You're just a slave factory. That's all it is. You're a fucking slave factory, and you don't get it. And that's so bad. Like, people really don't get it, you know? Like, people don't get it. All these women, all these men crying about what this and that, and it's like, yo, bro, if we actually live by the laws of God and actually commune with each other and actually do things, life would be better. And that's it. If women actually didn't do, you don't realize you ultimately lose in the end. You can go with Satan, and you can go with these bullshit tricks, and I'm gonna overpower men in my life, and you're gonna end up like all these other chicks, alone, old, and mad, and teaching the next generation they hate women and men and lying still. And then when you die, my Father's gonna have his way with you. You're gonna spend this whole life in misery, getting ding-donged, lied to, when you could have settled for an average man that would have actually fucking loved you. That shit is so sad when I like, cause I be thinking about my life, and I'm like, you know what I mean? You gotta get out here and just really look for a woman that's like of God, like you. I don't care about going to church or wearing crosses. She can have tattoos on her fucking face if she loves the Lord like I love him. Because the Lord never said you can't have tattoos on your face. I mean, it doesn't make you look good or whatever, like, you know what I mean? There's certain ways I'm starting to understand, or have my understanding, where I'm allowing myself to let go of certain stereotypes and saying, you know what I mean? Like, because how I say in multiple videos, oh, you see a woman with a dress on and it's looking nice, Sunday niceness, like this chick right here. She's looking beautiful. It's Sunday. She's got a nice long dress on. Respectable. That's what it's about. It shows that you have respect for yourself. But at the same time, women know these things. The deceivers will use that look, that image, to beat niggas in the head. So it's like, this is why I understand why my father said you have to test the spirit. Why would the Lord say this in the Bible? You gotta learn how to test the spirit. And then you don't know nothing about spiritual things. You don't know about vibrations. You don't know about body language. You don't know about how to read into somebody, how to see certain things, to see if they're a liar, charlatan. And this is what I mean by, I think this is what he made me for. Because I say these things and bring these things up, and I've done it all my life. And I've always heard the same answer. And that's how I know I got a nigga thinking. They be like, wow, I never thought about it like that before. And I'm like, yeah, I got your ass now. Even if I leave you now, for the rest of your life, I have infected you with the thinking thing. I thought you. I cracked your fucking eye open, and now you're thinking. And once you think of that one thing, whoa, that changes the way. Now you know how to look at things, and be like, all right, let me look at it another way. That's all it takes to think. Everybody says they think, but you don't really think of anything. You're not thinking. You're letting answers flow into your mind, and that's it. You're not actually thinking. Maybe that's not the right fucking answer. And that's okay. But like I say, how's that working out? Sound the horns. How's that working out for you? That's the only proof anyone needs in their life is you do things, it doesn't work, you try it again, it doesn't work, you try it again, it doesn't work, and you're like, all right, no more. 3 times is good enough. Shit, 1 time should be good enough for some things, right? Like women, picking the random red chad, super muscular ass niggas and the money. How many of y'all gonna get ran through by the same trick ass dudes? How many women are gonna fall for these things? How many men are gonna realize living that life leads you to never know how to really be with a woman, and you look good, you got this and you got that, and then you finally meet a good one, you wanna settle down and she doesn't wanna be with you because she can smell the filth of your soul. When you're around her and you do certain things, she's like, yeah, this dude, I know men are supposed, I don't care that he had sex with women and that, but you are the type that I can see it in you, dog. You was an asshole. You made a lot of women cry for no reason. You had power to end situations and just be like, I just don't want to be with nobody. It's not you. You're not a horrible woman or whatever. I don't care about nothing else. I want to run around. I don't need any answer, I don't need an excuse, I don't need to make you feel bad. I don't want to settle down right now. Nah, you had to tell her she ain't good enough. You had to tell her it's that thing. You know what I mean? Like, dudes be... And this is why we live in the world we live in. This is why women are broken and men are broken. It's not like it go both ways. But like I said, when it comes to this children thing and marriage and all of this, it's funny how the only way you protect yourself is with the laws of God. It's real funny. I wonder, oh yeah, I guess, like I keep saying, if you do the law, the Lord comes too. So not only does the law actually protect you in your manly ways, but then the Lord comes and sends his peoples, his angel buddies, whatever you want to call them, and then shit gets done. You get it? Like, I may be wrong, but I also may be right. I think a lot of people need to start changing their attitudes, especially the people that are not too far gone and you just, oh, I'm bad. And the Lord's looking for you directly, dumbass. That's what we call miracles. The ones that are really bad, and then you go, well, will the Lord help me? I'm bad and there's no hope for me. Yes, there's hope for you. You're his direct mission. You're why I'm out here. What the fuck are you talking about? You're why I'm doing this. And I ain't talking just my people. I'm talking to everybody. Like, it's crazy how, like, bad people don't really believe they get to come back. Anyway, all love.